5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. Got a new guest on today, so we're just gonna be talking in the pre-show here. Yeah, go ahead and throw your headphones on, and then you can extend that mic out, and we'll be and it's a little bit of a loud mic, so if you hit it a bunch, it'll pick up. But honestly, we're not that professional, so if it comes out, it's fine. So
as long as you're not like giving it a handy,
yeah, yep. As far as, and can you hear us all right in the headset? Okay. It's working this time.
I just want to, what's that?
Jesus, that's loud.
So actually, we could probably be boosted slightly compared to the sound.
Yeah. Let me turn that down.
All three of us, but
I promise I'm not trying to get handsy with you here.
it looks like it on stream though, which is hilarious.
It does.
It's always my favorite part.
So the cool thing that I want to do with the video in particular is when I start asking about the race, I probably should write down some questions, unless you have kind of the pitch of the Wicked Wilson.
It's kind of fresh in my head.
Is that on? Hold on, sorry.
I was gonna say, I don't think it is.
Let me turn that up. Can you keep talking?
It's not on there. I think the mic's on.
Is the mic? Is it? I didn't know if it had an on switch. It doesn't. Maybe we will have to use Derek's.
It doesn't have an on switch? That can't be right.
Well, it's the one that I bought. Remember? Hey, there's Hannah.
Hannah.
Hi.
Hannah. Brandon, Hannah. And there's nothing coming out of it at all. Oh man.
It really doesn't have an on switch?
No. Technical difficulties.
No, I got nothing.
Oh, that. Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
I'm an idiot.
You had the wrong mic. That's why.
I'm an idiot.
There you go.
Excellent. Oh, I can hear myself. That's weird.
Yeah.
You get used to it after a while.
So that's Hannah. That's Derek. There you go. I turned down Hannah's mic. That's what it was. Okay. Sorry. Technical difficulty. We're back at it though. So when we open up, get like a little bit about yourself. So do you have kids?
I do.
Okay.
Too.
We can talk about kids, talk about how crazy you are on a bicycle itself.
Yeah.
Got into some fitness over the years. And then what else ever you want to share. Again, we're not super big, so you don't like need to pretend like we are going to go super big. And so you can share as little or as much as you want.
Sounds good.
We've overshared in the past, but I'm not saying you need to.
Fair enough. Maybe I'll go back and watch some of your back episodes.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of hard to do, but you can listen to them.
Yeah.
But hey, false. He can subscribe on Patreon, and then he can.
And then I'll just give all the videos over, I guess, because we still haven't figured out the private YouTube channel thing yet. Which shit.
But no one's paying for that other than Hannah. And she
sure.
doesn't need it because she's here all the time.
Exactly.
And I'm pretty sure I didn't do the last two episodes. Damn it. So we're only gonna miss one of them though.
Oh, like saving them?
Yep. Sorry.
Well,
Sidetrack.
The last episode would still be there.
Yeah, the last episode's still there, but I need to get in there.
Now I'm gonna look.
But anyway, so a little about yourself. We'll get into the Wicked Wilson, and then like some history behind the Wicked Wilson. But then I want to do like a just big plug for like a 30-second, 20-second ad or a video that we can put on Facebook. Mm-hmm. I'll send it to Kelsey. Kelsey's gonna boost it, so it goes to essentially everybody.
It's still on there.
Everybody local. Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay, I might do that real quick.
Yeah, I would.
So I don't know. Maybe that's more of your thing. Do we do the summary of like the pitch and like a little bit of information, but not all the information first, so I can clip that.
Sure. Yeah, we can start talking about the race.
Okay.
That's what you want.
Like after you give a little bit of introduction to yourself, and then you do like the 30-second pitch. Maybe I'll just ask some questions about it, and then, well, I don't know. See, I'm
How
not
much do you want to
scripted.
know about me? I got
There's a lot, huh?
it's enough to talk about.
Okay.
It'll flow.
All right. And then let's see. So go to Twitch. I need to go to content. Is that right?
Yeah. Video producer.
And then down this
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Export.
So we back up everything on YouTube. Essentially, is what we do.
I gotcha.
So then we have it all archived, and if we wanted to, we could release them all public. Which yeah, I don't know.
Which we used to have like really long pre-shows, really long post-shows.
Yeah, it'd be
So,
like
like,
a 2-hour show.
The show
3 hours.
itself would be like 2 hours, and then there'd be like 2 hours of bonus content.
Yeah,
And that got ridiculous. So we've scaled back a lot.
yeah, just this year.
I like your shirt, Hannah. What does that say?
Bring back
Maverick and
that
Goose.
love and feeling.
R.I.P. Iceman.
Yeah, Val Kilmer died. That sucks.
I saw that. That was just yesterday.
This morning.
This
I'm your-
morning.
Well,
I'm your Huckleberry.
Damn it.
Yeah, that hurts my soul.
Which what was it? Throat cancer? Yeah.
Well, actually, his daughter said it was pneumonia, but
Wow.
he did have throat cancer.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're live there, and then sometimes randomly, somebody will do something in chat, and there will be sounds coming out. So just don't get scared.
Okay.
Now that makes me want to put like a horror sound like it. Bow!
I was just gonna call in. I'm glad I showed
What was that?
Oh, show doc. Do we need anything updated on the show doc?
Nope. Let's go to episode, whatever it is.
Best and worst smells. Are we doing like a top tier list?
Like, I mean, I was thinking like
top threes.
3,
Top
but
three.
really, I think it can also just be generically talking.
Okay.
You know, it smells real good.
I actually have my list
Nope.
ready, but anyway.
I like the worst, the best weirdest smells, like the stuff that you shouldn't like,
Sure.
but you do
Yeah.
for some weird reason,
Mm-hmm.
like skunks, because it reminded me of college.
Our fat bastard from Austin Powers who says everyone loves their own brand and he smells.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to start with the cold open, and then
Oh yeah, that's right.
and then I'll have you actually see that top left blue button. Yep. When we get started, I'll have you hit that, and I'll kind of cue it up. But
Okay.
are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I can always do it too if you need me to.
All right. Go ahead. So, guys, I don't know if you guys are going to recognize me in about 2 or 3 months.
I mean, you did shave your beard.
I did, and I shaved my head today.
Well, we've gotten used to that.
Yeah, okay, true. But anyways, I got a call this morning at about 9:15, all right? And it was from Brady, and Brady was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I was like, "I just got off the phone with the manager." He said, "How's your morning schedule look like?" And I said, "I have a couple calls, but I could probably miss them." And I said, "Why? What do you need?" Thinking that he needed a hand moving something or, golf maybe.
Yeah.
That would have been cool, but
I
no.
know what that was in your head.
Yeah, and so he was like, "Actually, if you're not busy, if you can be down here at about 10:15, he's like, we're shooting a commercial and we need somebody to stand in." I was like, "Oh, like somebody in the background, And he was like, kind of." He's like, I said, "Well, what am I going to be doing?" And he's like, "Well, we're recording a commercial for KSN for Southwind Bank, and I'm going to have you like sign some paperwork like you're signing a loan or something, and then shake a hand and then walk out." And I was like, "That sounds easy enough."
cheesy commercial. I love it.
Yep. And so there's going to be a commercial being broadcasted at some point, and it's going to be KSN, and they're going to distribute it to all the local channels. And so, like, we might be watching a Royals game
Or a Chiefs game.
or a Chiefs game, and all of a sudden, here's Southwind Bank's commercial, me
Dude.
walking through the front doors from like both angles, front and back, and then shaking Brady's hand, and like him like motioning me over to the back of the office, and then me walking into Vance's office and like sitting down to sign some papers. And the whole time, the funniest thing about it was, I was sitting there, and you know Vance. Vance he can be an ass. He's a funny asshole, is what he is. I love him. And the guy was like, just start talking about something. And he's like, hey, Mr. Sipe, unfortunately, you're in my office again. And he's like saying this with a big smile on his face. He's like, your loan percent is going to be 11% this time. And I was like, oh, really? And like we're having this fake conversation. And then like every time they had to retake it, he's like, now it's at 12.5. And I'm like, oh. And then I was like, ask him a question. And the last one, I think we finally got up to 14% on my fake loan. And yeah, it was pretty damn funny though. So
That's great.
your boy's going to be famous though.
That's what we
I
need.
will say, you're at least doing acting. The one commercial I was in, I just happened to be eating a burrito.
Eating a burrito.
Yeah, because
Was it for Fuzzies?
No, it was for Taco Shop.
Taco
I
Shop.
was, I was probably 4th grade, so about 9 years old. And my mom and I were like in there just like having lunch during
Right.
the summertime or whatever. And they, there was a camera crew there, and they were just like, hey, like, we're filming a commercial. Do you want me in the commercial? And coolest thing you could possibly say to a 9-year-old.
Yes.
Who's like, yep, you just eat. We're just going to film it and then like whatever. And so sure enough, like, yeah, we're watching TV one day and the Taco Shop commercial comes on and all you see is just me in my like glasses. And I'm just like, ah, I take this humongous bite. And I'm just like, all right, that wasn't as cool as I thought it would be. Now I'm a little embarrassed about the fact that I'm like balls deep in this burrito.
Oh man. So yeah, I thought it'd be cool to, tell you guys that the podcast has been good. It's about to blow up though. It's about to get even better because is that my
That would be your baby.
that's my baby.
Like a child.
Yeah.
I better go get her. All right, talk to you in a little bit. Coming to you live from the front porch. Welcome to In the Middle Podcast, a podcast about living life in the Midwest. So pour a glass, sit on your ass, and join the conversation as we talk all things sports, hobbies, and life's greatest conundrums. Mark,
Sipe.
what's up, dude?
I'm about to try a new beer for the first time. Let's give it a go.
It's actually pretty good.
Is it better than the sludge you tried to give us last week?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was terrible. Yingling Bock beer.
Yeah.
German style Bock came out of your fridge. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
That's why if you ever just want free beer, just come be on the show.
Yeah.
Like it's really not that hard.
Yeah. PH, how's this week been?
Fine. I can't think of anything.
Good. That's good then. It's just been normal.
Yeah.
Good.
You ruined a perfectly good segue just now.
I did.
Because I was just talking about if you ever want free beer to just come on the show. And we made a new friend today. His name's Brandon.
Hey, Brandon.
He was walking by the house. He's like, you guys got free beer? We were like, yeah, come on down.
That's all it takes.
Drove from Great Bend just for free beer.
That's right.
No, and yeah, welcome to the show, Brandon. First time on, first time hearing the podcast too.
Yep.
So we do expect you though. I think we have like 200 hours, 300 hours roughly of podcast to go back and listen to.
I'll see what I can do. To
Is that
Yeah.
really what we have?
Well, we have 100 shows.
That is exhausting.
That is. But don't go back and listen to season 1 or 0, whatever we
No.
planned. It was terrible.
Terrible.
Like season 4.
Yeah, season 4 is pretty good. It's starting to get better. So, we have Brandon on the show today. In topic 1, we're going to be talking a little bit about why he's here, get to know him a little bit, and then. But I'm doing your job though, Mark.
I know. I will do the promoting,
Okay.
and then while I do that, you can queue up the next portion.
Yeah.
So first of all, we of course have to shout out our Patreon supporters, which is Miss Hannah Haggard, PH herself, Mr. Eric Rorick, and Mr. Joe Roth. So thank you all. And then of course our longest running supporter, Hunter Key, which by the way, we've been editing our episodes. We're in the middle of ITM release week.
Yes.
Because we've just been super behind on releasing all of our stuff in audio form because as as you all know, this is mainly a video podcast found at twitch.tv/ITM Kansas.
Yes.
But listening to episode 100, what a time. And
It was a lot.
Hunter's Gummies, loved him. Excited for this hot sauce when he's going to bring that by. I'm excited for him to just come back to Kansas and visit because you know he'll be on the show when that happens. And so, yeah, Hunter, we love you and we miss you. But we also have our other supporter, and that, of course, is McNary Chiropractic's Dad Joke of the Week, guaranteed to crack you up, sponsored by McNary Chiropractic Family Health and Wellness here in Russell, Kansas. Go CPD for all of your chiropractic needs. Sipe, what is our dad joke of the week?
All right, this one's pretty good. We're all 90s kids. And if you hear a little bitty voice in the background, I'm not sure if it's going to pick up on the mic, but that's my 8-month-old Evelyn crying upstairs. She'll be all right. She'll go to sleep. Anyway, here's the joke. It's really good. My wife told me that she was getting really angry at me for singing I'm a Believer on repeat. I thought she was joking. Then I saw her face.
Very well done. That was a good one. That's a good one.
That's a really good one.
This calendar's had some bangers in it.
Yes.
Big fan.
Again, thank you, producer.
Yes. But yeah, so today, here's what we're talking about. We do have Brandon here. He stopped by the show to promote Wicked Fest. Is that what it's called?
Wicked Wilson.
Wicked Wilson.
Yes.
Okay.
Technically, it's both. Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah.
But it's the star of the show of Wicked Fest is the Wicked Wilson.
There you go. Okay.
Yep.
So Brandon's here to talk about that, and then also just tell us a little bit about himself, because yeah, anytime we bring someone on, we want to get to know them. That's what we do in the Midwest. Is we're friends with everybody.
Right here on the front porch, dude. I don't know if
Unless
you
you're
saw
wearing a
that.
Raiders jersey, then we don't like you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The bar is named the front porch.
Front porch. I
See?
That's right.
Not confusing at all that it's in the basement.
No.
Yeah.
Every good bar has a story.
Yes.
That's part of the story. And then speaking of stories, I got some wild ones from my boys' trip that I took in Oklahoma City.
I'm excited
So,
because you didn't let me in on anything.
No, and yeah, it was a roller coaster. There were highs, there were lows, and everything in between.
Hell yes.
So we'll recap the boys' trip. And then just because it is a little stinky down here today and we still haven't figured out why, we decide we're going to talk about our favorite and least favorite smells.
Yes. And I'm excited for this one, oddly enough.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be some surprises.
Oh, I'm
So,
sure.
There always is.
all right. Well, with that, we'll get into topic number 1. So, as we mentioned, your name's Brandon.
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay. All right, Brandon, give us like a top 7 or 8 things that we need to know about Brandon.
About me?
Yes.
Sure. Obviously, I love cycling.
Yes.
Started out running some 5Ks, did a 5K with obstacles. That was back, when I was first getting into fitness.
Yep.
And then I got into triathlons. My sister challenged me to some triathlons.
Ooh.
Realized I was pretty good at the bike, not so much the swim or the run,
Yep.
but I was pretty good at the bike. And did like 30 triathlons though, because it was what I thought was the only way to race a bike in Kansas. I never really looked into any other options.
Yeah.
Then I did a year of gravel, and I did some of the big gravel races, gravel worlds. I did open range.
So, how long are those big ones that you're talking?
A lot of the big ones are like 100 to 150 miles.
Oh, wow.
Something like that.
Wow.
150 miles is gravel worlds. It's up in Nebraska.
Okay. And how long would that take you to complete?
I think we finished that one in about 9 hours.
9 hours
Something like that.
of straight biking, or do you take regular breaks?
You take breaks once in a while if there's a sag stop.
Okay.
Treats and drinks and whatever.
Yep.
You got to refill your water,
Yep.
stuff like that. Yeah, each one has a really good story, and I won't get into.
I was going to say, what do you have to do if you got to like poop all of a sudden?
You go into a field. Every now and then you see somebody like just bail off their bike in the ditch and run off into the field. And you know what's going on. So
I shouldn't have ate that
Yeah.
breakfast burrito.
exactly right. Yeah.
First
or had
stop.
so much beer the night before or something.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see. Where was I?
So, big races. That's
Big
where I cut you
races.
off.
So yeah, I did triathlons from like 2012 to 2017.
Okay.
So 2018, I did nothing but gravel races.
Wow.
And I enjoyed them, but realized that the long distances weren't necessarily my strong suit. I'm more of a punchy, like, race for an hour as hard as you possibly can kind
Yep.
of guy. But gravel remained my favorite place to train.
'Kay.
Because it was safer than roads, like
Interesting.
highways and stuff like that. There's less traffic, there's slower traffic, more attentive traffic,
Yep.
things like that. So you feel a little safer on a gravel road than you do a highway. So I continued to train, and one of my buddies, his name is Mike Johnson.
Okay.
Rode bikes with him for a little while, and he hosted the Wicked Wilson before I hosted the Wicked Wilson back in like 2015.
Wow.
And he put this course together, and word spread that the course was epic. The Smoky Hills, they're beautiful.
Mhm.
Like you have steep, spicy hills,
Yep.
like really that just wear you out. And then at the top of the hills, you get these epic views. Some of them overlook Lake Wilson and things like that. And it's super fun. But he only did it for 3 years, and it was growing and everything.
Mhm.
But he's got a full-time job, and he's on several boards and stuff. I think he just got too busy, and he let it slide for a few years. He decided he was going to be done. But my buddy Jared, who I ride bikes with all summer, he's a teacher. I'm a teacher.
Yep.
Ride bikes with all summer. He said, we need to go do the Wicked Wilson course for training. I was like, okay. So we come out here and we do it, and we did the 120 mile some course
Holy
at the time.
cow.
And I'd done all those other races already, but that one about killed me. Like I've only done that course twice.
Yeah.
And both times I was like down for a week, like recovering.
Holy
'cause
smokes.
It was intense. So we started doing the 60-mile version.
Yep.
And that's like perfect. But still, the hills are just nuts. Unbound. Have you heard of Unbound gravel?
No, I haven't.
Okay, it used to be called Dirty Kansas,
Okay.
200 mile race.
Is that
in Emporia?
important? Okay.
It's the Flint Hills.
Yeah.
So
It's
that's like
beautiful,
kind
too.
of the most famous gravel race in the world. Like that's the one that really got gravel started
In the world?
in the world. It's an international phenomenon now. Thousands of people come to that race every year.
In the Flint Hills?
Thousands.
I did
Really?
not
in
know
the Flint
this.
Hills. It grew rapidly. Now it's
Dude.
owned by an organization called Lifetime Fitness, and
Yep.
they had to move to a lottery system. And thousands of people will put their name into this lottery, and then only like the top 3,000 or 4,000 get in.
That is incredible.
This is like
So-
some Fight Club stuff. Where
Dude.
it's like,
Oh yeah, you have no idea.
we don't talk about.
It's crazy.
Rule number 1 about Fight Club. Don't
Yeah.
talk about Fight Club.
Gravel racing is something else.
that is
um,
awesome.
But it's a 200-mile race for them. Anyway, my buddy Jared has done that race several times, and they would say
Wow.
about this race that it's death by 1,000 cuts because they have a lot of flowy hills.
Yep.
Mhm.
Hills. I say that the Wicked Wilson is death by 20 vicious stab wounds because the hills out here are not rolling gentle hills.
No.
Yeah.
They are steep and
Yep.
they are big
Yep.
and they are constant. And
I saw a picture that you posted the other day of,
Yeah.
of it
Yeah.
going all the way up to
One
the
that goes
moon.
oh, that's a fun topic to talk about too. So I called that was an April Fool's Day post.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I just had AI generate this ridiculous hill.
Yeah.
And I was saying that you guys thought Bike Walker Hill was steep. This is Bike Launcher Hill. So Bike Walker Hill is a hill that's like 7/8 of the way through the course. So
'Kay.
they've already been up and down these crazy hills, and then they get to the monster that is Bike Walker Hill.
Yep.
And some of the parts, the grade gets up to like 22-23%.
Holy
Wow.
crap.
And half of my participants have to walk up this hill.
Oh,
And so I called it
The
Bike
Walker.
Walker Hill. I print out stickers that say I conquered Bike Walker Hill. I have one on my bike rack out on my
I
car.
love it. Yeah.
And if they get to the top without having to walk their bike, I have volunteers hand them a sticker.
Dude, that's
so, but
sick.
you have to earn that sticker, man.
That is too cool.
And this year we're going to do up the culture on that hill big time.
Yeah.
So previously we did have the 200K course, which is the 120 mile something that I told you about.
Yes. Yep.
I did have interest in that course in the past, but I had 9 people sign up the first year, 2 finished it.
Oh, wow.
The next year, most of the people who signed up for that course signed up for the 100K instead.
No kidding.
And
Yeah.
the only ones that signed up for the 200K again were the ones that finished it the first time.
The
So,
two.
Yeah, so like I had dwindling interest in that course because
Mhm.
it is so painful
Yeah.
and hard. And I'm going to bring it back if there's demand over time as the
Yep.
race grows. But I've done away with the 200K course this year because everybody wants to do the 100K.
Yeah.
And it's actually my training course. It's the one that I go out and do for training all the time.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So, that's crazy amount of information as far as
Yeah, sorry.
you started in 5Ks, you went to tries, you got into this gravel bikes, and you've been doing that essentially ever since 17,
Actually, I only did gravel bike racing for 2018.
2018.
When I decided that it wasn't for me. And then 2019 to like last year, I did criteriums. Which
Criteriums.
is road racing in downtown areas
That is.
for an hour, and it's like the
awesome.
Formula One of bikes, is what the way I describe it.
Yeah, you were showing some videos before we got started, and that the race that you showed us that was crazy was Tulsa.
Yes,
So Tulsa has a criterium.
it's one of the most famous criteriums in the country. It's 3 days of racing. There's a race every day
Wow.
for 3 days, and
Just
there's
for an hour?
actually, yeah, just for 1 hour, a 1 hour race.
Yep.
But there's different categories, so it goes all day.
Gotcha.
It's this big old party vibe, super fun. There's actually a YouTube documentary about that race.
No kidding.
called Tough Days of Tulsa,
Okay.
and I highly recommend watching it. It's only 45 minutes or so.
Oh, I'm
but
in.
it's-
We'll put it
it's
in our show notes.
Well
Yep.
produced. It's so good. I've watched it twice. It's really
That's
good.
cool.
Um,
Reminds me of the Barclay.
Hannah's already
Bark-
looking it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see her over there on her phone.
I'll send you my YouTube channel too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Post
all,
that.
all
I
the
got some
links,
good
all the
footage.
promotions, all that sort of stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll drop it for sure.
So, have you ever heard of the Barclay Marathon
That
or
sounds-
Barkley?
That sounds really familiar. Is that the one where they don't have any instructions? They go out in the woods and get lost.
Pretty much.
Okay,
Yeah. They get there in Tennessee. It's a 100-mile race over 60 hours, and you have to complete one loop in a certain amount of time. And there's book pages you have to get, and it's ridiculous.
And only like one person's finished this thing, right? Or just
So,
a handful of people.
Yeah, that used to be the case until about 2015 or 16, and then people started getting really good at it and training for it and knowing how to run it. And so last year at the Barclay, there was, I think, 4 or 5 finishers for the first time ever. So this year, the guy that designed the course made it almost impossible to finish.
Oh my
Huh.
There were 0 finishers this year. And so it's unreal.
And that's where I look at that and go, why even try?
Exactly.
Yep.
Well, it's funny.
Hannah's in my boat.
Yep.
The first year that I did this race and brought it back, I held it in August.
Oh,
We had a-
shit.
We had a 50% DNF rate
Yeah.
Yeah.
because of the hills and the heat.
And the heat.
combination.
Yep.
It just
Mhm.
it wasn't good.
So
Now it's in May.
all right, let's get like if you were to talk to the people on the podcast listening in their car,
Yeah.
give us like the 20-second just rundown of what the Wicked Wilson is.
Okay, let me see if I can do that. In 20 seconds. So the Wicked Wilson is a very challenging and beautiful course through the Smoky Hills in Kansas. The hills are spicy, much spicier than most of the other races you'd find. It's not death by 1,000 cuts; it's death by like 20 stab wounds. But the gravel is top-notch quality. Like some other races have a lot of sand, or then they'll incorporate some pavement, or it'll be muddy, something like that. We don't have any of that. It is just fast-rolling, high-quality gravel all the way through. The hills are what's going to get you, but that's what makes it fun.
Awesome. And you have how many different types of races on that day?
We have a 100K course and a 50K course.
Awesome. How many do you have signed up right now?
We're at about 46.
46.
Yeah.
And
This-
last year you had
Last year we had 60 some, I think.
awesome. So
About
they
60
need to get
people.
out there and sign up for this race
They
then.
need to sign up for
What
the race.
what date is it?
May 17th.
Okay.
So most of my participants sign up within the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
We're actually triple what we were last year at this point in time before
Awesome.
before the race day. So it's
So still go
going
sign
well.
up though, right?
yeah, still go sign up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I give out prizes to anybody who's registered. So like there's drawing prizes, whatever.
Yes.
From now until race day for anybody who is currently registered. So sign
Awesome.
up now and increase your chances.
How much is registration?
Registration, I believe it's $89 for the 50K, $99 for the 100K.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
And then if you are not a bike enthusiast like Hannah and myself, what's the selling point for spectators?
Now, see, that's something that I'm very excited about this year. Is Russell Main Street is getting behind the race in a big way, and they're hosting something called Wicked Fest, and they're closing off streets downtown. My start finish used to be over by the rec center, and it was really low key. It was mostly just gravel people hanging out, and when the day was done, they all just kind of packed up and went.
Yep.
Now there's going to be like music and food trucks and kids games. There's going to be a kids race, entertainment, all kinds of stuff. There's going to be a cornhole tournament.
Yep.
A suds run.
Yes.
And
I'm
which
excited about
you can
that.
talk about that in a little bit if you want. No, I'm so excited. This has been actually part of my vision for the race since I started it. This is year 4.
Okay.
And I always wanted to move it downtown, but just because of the rest of the stuff that I do in my life, I've never had time to go through the city process,
Yes.
get streets closed down and move it to downtown and all that. And then just the universe was like, oh, hey, here's a couple of really awesome human beings that want to do this. And they reached out to me and, and I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's move it downtown and do everything that you want to do. How can I help?
Yeah.
So.
And you have some sponsors that are helping with the race as well.
Yeah. Dry Lake Brewing is going to be there. They're based out of Great Bend. They're going to have beer for sale at the beer garden.
Awesome.
And then we have Salina RV. They're going to be part of the race. They usually donate some of my prizes that I give away.
Heck yeah.
From now till registration. Golden Belt Bike Company out of Great Bend. They provide some prizes for the hill climb competitions, which that's a whole nother thing. There's 4 monster hills, and Bikewalker Hill that I talked about earlier, that's one of them.
Okay.
But each one, I have Strava segments set. And so after the race, like a couple of days after the race, I go back and I see who climbed the hills the fastest.
Whoa.
And within their categories, I mail them prizes after the fact.
That is awesome.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
That has to be unique to this race.
It is a little unique. There's some other races that do something similar, but they time it right at the hill. I'm the one that I like to mail out prizes afterwards and kind of keep the hype going a little after
Yep.
the race.
Yeah, because there is such thing as a post-race kind of dwindling. Like you're super amped up on it right after the race, and then a couple days later you kind of come off of that. So to be able to get something in the mail
It says you
2
did
days
something
after,
badass. Here you
yeah,
go.
like even more badass than what you thought you were. Here's a prize for it.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Now, maybe I misheard you. Did you say the start and finish is at Russell Main Street?
Yeah,
Yes.
downtown.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
And I have lots of other sponsors. I need to look at the back.
Oh yeah, here.
Prairie Sailor, they donate some merch, usually for the top finishers. Wadbees usually gives a discount for all the participants.
Yep.
And they're so awesome. I just pay full price for the meals for my volunteers.
That's cool.
Wadbees is fantastic. And Back of the Gravel Pack, they're not here this year as a sponsor, but I'm going to mention them again because they've done me so much good. They're a YouTube channel that specializes in gravel races, and they go out and do
Ooh.
gravel
Oh, sweet.
adventures. And they came out and they did 2 videos for me. They rode the course with me. You're good.
Okay. Just staring at the wall
Which,
here.
by the way, speaking of shirts, obviously you are very fit, but I didn't know, do these come from Baby Gap or where?
Hey.
This one's a
Hey.
small.
I'm
I
just
think I
saying,
grabbed my wife's shirt on my
I
way
know
out the door.
I know Sipe wears an extra small. You got a youth extra small.
This one's small for sure.
No, he's
I
just that
changed
much-
when I got here.
that much more jacked than I am. That's what it is.
I mean, look, just because I have a father figure doesn't mean you got to come in here and showing it. Yeah, exactly.
I love it.
Ladies, if you're not watching
On
at
Twitch.
twitch.tv/ITM Kansas, there's a handsome man sitting between me and Sipe with the gun show.
Yeah, he did say his wife's closet, so sorry, ladies. He's taken.
Hey,
but
you can look.
you can look.
Absolutely nothing wrong with just looking there.
Very cool. And so I'm excited about this race too. I'm part of Russell County Leadership, which I think you spoke to Ashley, the city clerk. She's also in Russell County Leadership, and she was kind of the one that brought it to our attention. We got Russell Main Street involved with it, and we're like, as a class, let's please, I'll take a beer. Let's make a deal out of this thing because 70 bikers into a sorry, is bikers like a curse word to you?
No, a lot of people say bikers. I say cyclists.
Okay.
Gravel grinders is another word for people who ride a lot of gravel races. So.
I kind of want to get that just starting mainstream.
Grinders.
Some gravel grinders.
Yeah.
Okay. But no, with 70 racers coming into town, and then spectators on top of that want to see them do good and watch them start and maybe go out and see them race on a portion of the trail and then come back to town. That's such an opportunity we missed out on as a community. And so you mentioned the right people to the race, or mentioned it to the right people about the race. And I do want to give our class some credit, as well as Main Street. Obviously, they're fantastic to work with. They've done all the permitting. They've went through all the paperwork for us. But our class has really done a lot of good work behind the scenes, getting some different ideas, getting volunteers to do stuff downtown. We're going to have food trucks that day. We're going to have a cornhole tournament, like you mentioned. I'm hosting a 5K suds run, which I think I need to come up with some sort of phrase about not puking. But it's going to be a fun time, and we'll get into a 5K suds
You're
run
gonna need like
at some point.
stickers for people who made it through without
puking.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you
That would be a good sticker
Yeah.
to have.
I mean, if he's got stuff for people climbing hills, you should have
Yeah.
stuff for people not
go. That don't throw up on
up chucking.
Yes.
Chuck,
yes.
run 3 miles.
And so I don't know, Mark, have you seen any of my Facebook posts about this 5K suds run? Because
I'm sure I probably have, but I'm usually when I'm on Facebook, it's for my job. So
Right.
That job would not be following you.
so I
For obvious
mentioned
reasons.
rollerblading twice now in
Have you?
a couple of
He
my
did.
posts.
I saw that earlier.
Hey,
Yes.
here's the problem I'm running into though. The skates that I want to get, they don't currently have in my size.
Oh, no.
And I'm hoping that they'll get them so I can, buy them and whatnot. So,
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise I'll just pay up for other ones. But the ones I'm looking at, they're like black with like red wheels and like that sort of stuff, like looking really sweet. The other ones are like pure navy blue and they're disgusting looking.
Oh, navy blue's awesome.
No, I like navy blue, but like it's like too much.
Right.
Yeah, it's a little too much.
Did
I
you?
actually impulse bought a set of rollerblades recently?
Did you?
I was about
Yeah.
to ask. Are you a blader?
Well, I mean, I was in high school, and then I
Yes.
bought another set and thought it would be fun to like go along with my kids while they ride their bikes. I'd rollerblade and
That's exactly why you bought yours. Are you sure you didn't know each other
I
beforehand?
don't know. I feel like we're all the same person.
Hey,
back
yeah.
here.
Fun
Yes.
fact, when I was in Oklahoma City, we drove by a sweet skate park and I was just like, oh man, like maybe my recreational blades aren't enough. I need to get some aggressive inline blades. Like,
With some
go grind some rails.
yeah, some grind plates in the
Dude.
middle.
They had a half pipe and everything. It was like a 6-foot half pipe. I was like,
Yep.
dude, I could mess with that thing. That'd be sweet.
Were you also a part of the 90s like X game mode where you would like buy a skateboard or rollerblades or anything?
No, it was mostly rollerblades, and I lived in Claflin, Kansas. We didn't have anything to skate on other than flat roads. I could do a pretty good little twisty turn, but that's about it.
Yeah, but in Waukeeta, Oklahoma in 2001, we also did not have anything hilly or even remotely flat. It was all just broken concrete, and I still rollerbladed.
Look, all you do is you get a couple of 2x4s and some plywood.
And some milk crates.
Dude, you got like 3 feet of air that time. By the way, that is back-to-back Napoleon Dynamite references
Yes.
on this show.
Impressive.
Yes, we need to watch that movie soon
Dude.
together.
It's really bad.
So real quick before we get into topic 2, is there any last things you want to talk about with the race or with about yourself or any more shout outs?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No, because
No,
I do want to ask you to come back, whether it's in person or we can call you on the phone, because you have mentioned a few stories of bike races
yeah.
that I think is going to be just awesome
I
storytelling.
got more than bike race stories, man.
Okay, that
Let me put it this way. So I recently switched jobs. I was PR and marketing director at Barton Community College,
Mhm.
and I did that for 11 years. And for the last
Wow.
3 years, I've been teaching communication classes and photography and social media marketing and all this stuff.
that sounds awesome.
And one of my former employees sent me a text because they went to the conference that we would always go to.
Mhm.
And she says, she just sent me a random text, said, "It is ridiculous how many people see Barton Community College in my name tag, and then they tell me a random Brandon story." So I'm happy to
Yes.
share some of those with you as well. 'Cause
Yes.
they're pretty good.
Look, all I heard was social media marketing. You're hired.
Yeah, if you need a side gig that doesn't play
by the way,
anything,
if you wonder how we pay, right here.
yeah,
I'm in.
you get to come and have beer with us.
Let's do it.
We'll pay for like your every other tank of gas coming up here. So, no, really glad to have you on the show today and let us know kind of a little bit about who you are in the race. We want you to be a part of the show for the next two topics. If you need to leave, you can, but you're more than happy to, or more than welcome to stay.
No, I'm happy to stay. This is
Yes.
fun.
Yes, he's in. All right. Hook, line, sinkered. All right. Well, with that, topic number 2.
Sipe, you missed a crazy weekend, man.
I did. I know I did. But I feel like the trade-off was good as far as what trips I have planned for this year.
True. Well, let me just ask, how was your weekend?
It was good.
It doesn't matter what your weekend was
All
like.
right. All
Sorry,
right.
we've been watching wrestling. So, no, it doesn't matter because you skipped out on boys' trips. So here's what happened. I'll be as condensed as I can. My wife got the 2-hour version of this story.
Yeah.
I'll give you guys like the 20-minute version of this story, and then we'll talk smells.
15.
I can do it. Okay. So first and foremost, as with any trip, I don't care if it's a boys trip, a ladies trip, a couples trip, family trip, whatever. It's never like perfect beginning to end. There's always highs and lows. There's always, someone will lose their luggage. Someone will, like get drunk and spend everything they have, like all that sort of stuff. So this trip was no different in the sense of, and I'm not even going to break it down chronologically. I'm going to break it down by category. So for example, golf. We knew we wanted to go golfing.
Yep.
We were excited. I played my first ever par 3 golf course.
Which, by the way, how long was the furthest hole?
So
on that
the
one?
furthest one, I want to say was like 220 or like something like
Yeah.
that. So still like, I was playing my 5-wood. On that one, technically, I should have been playing my driver, but it was a very narrow, like we had to shoot between trees, and I was just like, nope, I can do my 5-wood straight, so that's what I'm going to use. But that was the other thing is, so longest hole about 220, shortest hole about like 86 yards or something like that. Like it was very short, but it was a 9-hole course, and I would say 6 of the 9 holes, it was just like 150. And like
Yes.
that kind of sucked for me because my sweet spot is like 110 to 125. And so for me, I was just like, like it's too close to use my 5-wood, but it's too far to use my, my pitch and wedge or my new approach wedge, whatever. So I actually struggled a little bit, but here's why it was an up and down. Par 3 course, beautiful course, super well kept.
Oklahoma City?
Yes.
Yeah.
Once again, like it's crazy to play on a course that's not Russell because when you like I could have putted on the fairway and like done great. Like literally, like I could have gone off the tee box and then from there just used my putter and probably would have been fine.
Yeah.
I've driven with a putter before, a par 3, and
Yeah.
got it on the green
On the green?
in the rain.
In the rain?
Hey,
But I was in high school. I haven't played since then.
that brings
Oh, you
me,
haven't
It was
played
luck.
since high school.
That was total luck.
Okay.
brings me
I'm
to
not
the
good at
next
golf.
portion.
Don't
So
be-
conditions were great. It was a little chilly, had a little mist in the air.
Okay.
Like we were maybe going to get thunderstorms. That never happened.
So what's chilly? 60?
It was like high 50s.
Okay. Yeah. That is chilly.
But I was still wearing shorts and then like a like something like this over.
Yeah. Little hoodie.
But no, so here's the deal. Golf, always fun. Doesn't matter what the score is. Like, love golf. All of that was great. Here was the downside of the golf is our tee time was 9:10.
Okay.
This place opened at 8 o'clock. We ended up waking up a little earlier than we thought, even though TJ and Nick were both very hungover from the night before. I, of course, was awesome because I'm a professional drinker.
And not a bitch.
Yeah, exactly. So we actually ended up
TJ.
getting there at about 8:45, so like well before our tee time. But our thought was like, oh, like we'll practice like our chippy and putting, like
Yep.
surely they have a green or like whatever. And we get there and it's 8:45. And we like go up to one door and
Already
like
see
it's locked. And then we go over to the other door. And you know those little flippy signs that says open and close with
Yeah.
a clock on it? It said closed. And the clock said 8 o'clock. And we were like,
Oh,
this guy's
shit.
45 minutes late to work. Like, okay. And so we're kind of like checking it out. And then people saw us go over there and they get out of their cars. They're like, hey, like, do you know what time they opened? And we like point at the clock and we're like, I'm guessing 8, but they're not here. And so then we're standing in the parking lot with like these other people who probably had tee times before us. And then all of a sudden this car pulls up and the dude inside of it looked like a like hipster drug dealer. And Nick even like, I was just like, oh God, do you think that's the guy? And Nick's like, no golf course would hire him. Sure enough, gets out of his car, kind of looks at everybody standing in the parking lot, shrugs his shoulders, goes over to the door, boop, 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 types in the code, opens it up.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah, and we're just like, wow, like, okay. But I mean, we weren't late for the tea time. This was at about 8:55, so we still had like 15 minutes. But we go inside, and first of all, he's like, oh, hey, guys, how's it going? Like, doesn't even acknowledge the fact that
he was
he's late.
45 minutes late.
Right.
Jesus.
To work.
This dude.
50 minutes at this point. Yeah, like, it was bad. But then Sipe, the best part, and this is the thing that you would have loved, is you know how every golf course has a box of like balls, and it's just like, you know, $1 a ball, $0.25 a ball, 50 cents a ball, whatever.
Yep.
It was $5 for 4 balls. So if you're doing the math, that's $1.25 per
That's
ball.
not bad, yeah.
Sipe, the balls that were in that bucket, I literally thought it was an April Fool's joke because the balls inside that bucket looked like they had been living in the dirt for 30 years.
Jesus.
Like
They
there
didn't clean them?
was no like, what do you call it? Like the dimples?
Yeah.
Like the dimples were gone. These were basically like pure balls. They were covered in dirt.
Pure balls.
Yeah. Covered in dirt. Like, yeah, they were not washed. I didn't know what brand they were because that was all like rubbed off and scratched. Like,
Unwashed,
Dude.
unmarked balls.
yes. And they were $1.25 a ball.
That's,
And I pointed at Nick and I was just like, do you think that's real? And he's just like, I mean, it has to be, right? Like, and so it was weird,
so
man.
that's the course,
Like,
though. That's the course. I mean, that represents the people that go and play that course.
But that's what I mean. The course was great. The patrons of the course, like we ended up visiting with a few of them because we were a party of 3 and there was like a couple of 2s and singles and stuff. And everybody went by wonderful human beings. Like I would get a membership at this course, and even the clubhouse like looked really nice. Like it looked like a place that you could, you know, stay and actually have like a golf weekend at.
Yeah.
Like very nice place. But between the hipster working the counter and then the counter itself having just the most absurd, and even like the teas were like, it was bad, bro.
Like well-used
Yeah.
tees, too.
Okay.
Like they're picking them off the tee box.
So there's golf,
There's
right?
dollar.
So there's golf. Let's go on the next part.
Wait a minute. No
Yes.
hole-in-ones?
No hole-in-ones.
Okay. No
but,
$50.
But we'll get to stuff like that. So
Okay.
no hole-in-one. Okay. Now let's talk about Ubers. We've all ridden in Ubers. Like for the most part, in my experience anyways, like not terrible experiences. You know,
Yeah.
every now and then maybe you get a guy who doesn't speak English really well, or
somebody
maybe-
that won't shut up, too. I've had both.
sure, or
Yep.
or someone who doesn't talk back to you when you're,
Yes.
oh, hey, how's it going? Fine.
Yep.
All right,
If
cool.
that.
I'll take my ride.
Yep.
Dude, we probably took about 10 Ubers. One was a quality Uber.
Oh, no.
The other 9.
Oh, no.
So here was our first instinct. First Uber of the day. I'm just going to do the rundown for you. Ready? First Uber we took there. We go to like get in the car, and the guy's like, oh, I didn't know you had 4 or 3 people. I thought it was just one guy. And like it never specifies on Uber. So it's like, no, like you always just assume however many you can fit in your car is
Right.
what you're probably going to get. So he's like, I'm sorry. And like goes over to his front seat and just starts scraping trash.
Oh,
Like-
my God.
And I get car sick, like in cars if I ride in the back. So I usually always sit in the front seat
Oh,
unless that like
no.
weirds them out. So I'm just like, cool.
So you're stepping on, like,
so yeah, there's
tea cans.
right. There's water bottles. There's McDonald's wrappers. There's this guy had like papers. Like it was like a college kid. So we
What
get in the
the hell?
car and we start driving to the casino. And the first thing he says, he's like, yeah, I just started Ubering today. You're my second ride. And we're just like, oh my God. Like,
Holy
of course.
shit.
Yeah. So rookie Uber driver. That was driver number 1.
Just got my license last week.
Right. Driver number 2 picks us up from the casino, you know, rolls down the window like, hey, are you, you know, Mark? I'm just like, yeah, what's up? And it's just like, okay, cool. Are you all just going to squeeze in the back? And I was just like, because again, it was like a 4-person car.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I mean, can I ride up front? And he's like, yeah. Same thing. Just start scraping trash and water balls. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. At least this guy was like moderately cool.
Yeah.
But like, I was like, okay, what Uber is not prepared to be
Yeah.
taking passengers?
I could have swore Uber like was a requirement to have a clean, like
Yeah.
respectable car to
Well,
be able
that's
to
the
do
thing
it.
is these guys all had like 5 stars, and I don't know how because I sure as hell
What
didn't give them
the
5
hell?
stars. So,
I don't even like friends
That's what I was gonna
driving
say.
in my car like
Yeah.
that. Like I'm one who has a lot of junk on
oh yeah,
in my passenger seat
Yep.
because it's just me usually. But I could not like I don't like doing that to my friends. I could not imagine.
Doing that to a
Getting-
customer.
Yeah, getting paid
Yeah.
for it.
yeah.
Oh,
It was
my
wild.
Gosh.
So, yeah. So far, we're 0 for 2 on tips.
0. Can I have $1 back?
Hey,
Actually,
Give you a 50-50 shot whether I tip the next guy. What do you think?
0.
Nope. So the next guy picks us up. This guy at least was not, did not have to clear off his front seat for me to sit in it. It was an old guy, like sweet, awesome beer gut, and we're just like we get in the car, and we're like, oh, it's a sweet little old man. Like
Finally.
this will be a nice time. Like
Yeah.
great. And we get in the car, and he's like asking us about the casino. And we're like, oh, like where are you from? He's just like, oh, yeah, I'm just in town visiting my daughter. And we're just like, oh, like that's really nice, but that's kind of crazy that you're Ubering like in a town
Yeah.
that's not yours. And he's like, what? And we're like, well, you said you're in town visiting your daughter. He's like, no, I didn't. And we all started looking at each other. He's like,
What?
I'm in town visiting my doctor. And we're like, okay, well, maybe we misheard you, but
Yeah.
fact is you're still in town. He's like, I've lived here my whole life. And we're like,
Am
okay.
I high right now?
No.
I was
So
worried
then,
that I was being human.
so
trafficked.
then,
No shit.
no. So then this
Are we
guy,
going to Mexico?
Yeah.
Am I sold?
My kidneys already sold on the black market.
so then this guy starts like, he would like start something. He'd be like, oh yeah, one time I went to the casino and, you know, I was playing some blackjack and well, that's not my problem.
No.
And we're like,
fucking way.
What? I literally think I rode with a serial killer. I'm not even kidding. Like
Was
he
there
would
a
just trail
camera?
off.
Was there? I think you're on a YouTube
I
channel.
must have been, dude, because he did this no minimum of 4 times. Like he would start something, trail off, and they go, well, that's not my problem. Like, so wild. Okay.
Dude,
I
Got
think
it.
Women feel like that all the time. So welcome to our world.
Yeah.
I feel like if I ever become an Uber driver, I have to do like a prank on every different one.
Oh, God,
And
dude.
like the meow or
Oh, right.
like that where you're just some senile old man.
Super Troopers.
Yeah, something.
this-
that would be hilarious.
This guy
to
has
do.
1000% murdered people in his life. Now, my next Uber driver that only I had, because I ended up leaving the bars later than TJ and Nick. Again, they can't hang.
Bitch.
So, right. So the guy I get in the car with, a young kid, I asked him if I could sit up front, and he was just like, nah, like I really like, can you sit in the back? I was just
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's fine. Like, it's cool. And he had like a really nice car with like a sunroof, so I didn't feel like as claustrophobic and like anxiety ridden. And I start talking with this guy, young black man, very handsome, very like, I could just tell the way he spoke, he was very intelligent. And so he was kind of like sharing with me, you know, his life story as Uber drivers do.
Yep.
I think, have you seen Good Will Hunting?
Yes.
With like Matt Damon, Robin Williams?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You know how fucking easy this is for me? Like that's
Yeah.
I think I met the black Matt Damon from that.
No.
Like this kid was like a genius.
No.
But like life wasn't challenging him enough, so he was just like, yeah, I dropped out of college, like too easy.
so
like,
he's gonna be like,
I got bored. He's gonna be president someday.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I just rode with our future president, and he's just doing Uber for some extra scratch.
yeah, he's gonna be like.
He
like
was
inventing and manufacturing something like world changing.
This kid's curing cancer.
Yeah.
Like I'm telling you right now, like I felt like I could have handed him a math equation and he would have straight like, do you know how fucking easy this is? Like legit.
Don't
Legit.
insult me.
He was awesome. He was, and I told him, I was like, have you ever seen Good Will Hunting? Because he was only 25. He's like, no, like what is it? I was like, oh, like it's with Robin Williams.
It's
Matt
about
Damon's
you.
Ben Affleck. Well, no, and that's what I told him. I was like, you remind me of Matt Damon's character in that movie. He's like, I'm gonna watch that tonight. Like when I get home, like being done with Uber, I'm like, hey, like when you watch that,
You're the black.
you're the black Matt Damon. Yeah. He was awesome though. Okay, so
that's good.
we're 1 for 4 at
'Kay.
this point. Okay, so then our next one was when we went to Oklahoma City. This was very nice. Black man, had 5 kids, very nice car, drove nice and safe on the road. You could tell he had kids.
Yeah.
Like, and we were his children while he while he was driving us
Yeah.
around.
He was
And
dad.
he
Kids in the bag.
he also like played like family friendly music, and we were even joking with him. We're like, bro, if you need to get gangsta, like we can do that. And he's just like, nah, it's okay. Like and it was very like Marvin Gaye, like kind of like
Yes.
just awesome, just setting the mood.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So he was good. After that, nothing really went well. So then on our way home from the Thunder game, we had this very, very, very like heavy set lady. And her car also very trashed, also did not smell well, to the point where she like had all the windows cracked even
Oh.
while we were going down the interstate.
And it's cool that night.
Well, and it was fine. But our favorite thing about her, she did not mess around. Like she was driving like 90.
Tokyo Drift.
Right. Well, no. And so I was thrilled because I was just like, yeah, like let's get to our destination. Like
Yeah.
you're making the same amount anyways. But what I didn't know is as TJ was getting in the car, he could see the like metal, like, you know, like when your tires getting really low
Oh,
and the metal
no,
starts sticking out. He's like, so as she's driving 90 down the interstate, I'm just in the back seat, just like
We're gonna
holding
blow
on.
a tire.
Like,
We're
we're
gonna
gonna
blow a
blow a tire and we're all gonna die. Like, not gonna be good. But like, and she was cool. She was playing like 2000s like ladies R&B.
Yes.
So it was like Monica was playing and like Mariah Carey, and oh man, like
yes.
she full blown had a vibrator in her trunk. Like I just know based on what she listened to, when she's in between rides, she's just
Helping
giving herself.
herself.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Okay.
But so
All
our
right.
final trip, was the coup de grace of all the Uber drivers. Is we come out of the casino, which I'll get to in a moment. Like we're feeling high, like all this sort of stuff, and we come out of the casino, and this guy pulls up, and we go over to the car, and Nick had ordered it, and he's like, "Hey, are you Nick?" And Nick's like, "Yeah, I'm Nick." And he's just like, "3 of you?" And he's like, "Yeah, cool." And he has this van, so there's 2 seats in the middle, and then like a full row in the back.
Yep.
And he rolled up the window before I could ask him if I could sit up front. So Nick and TJ climb in, which I'm already like nervous about. Like, well, if he says no, I have to ride in the very back now. Like, ugh. And so I lean into like the back like door. And I'm like, "Hey man, like, do you mind if I sit up front?" And he goes, "Most people ask." And I'm like,
That's what I'm doing.
well, no, I kind of like pause. I was just like, yeah, like, is it cool with you if I sit up front? And he goes, "Most people ask," again. And I look at Nick like to confirm, like, am I not like being nice? Like, what's, and Nick just kind of like shook his head. I don't know, man. And I was just like, yes. And he's just like, "Just get in, man." And I'm just like, okay. And like went to get in the car, and I sit down and I'm like putting on my seatbelt. I'm just like, "Hey, like, thanks, man. Like sometimes I get car sick, like when I ride in the back of cars. So I usually just ask to sit up front." He's like, "Yep, well, Uber isn't for everybody." And I'm just like, bro, this
Dude,
guy.
what?
Yeah. I'm just like, this mother effer. And so
What?
I sat there like the whole way like this, like as I was like riding home or whatever. And I was just pissed. And when we finally got back to our Airbnb, I almost didn't say thank you. I almost
I
didn't
wouldn't
say
have.
thank you. Well, no, here's the deal.
I would have hopped down and been like, "Fuck you too, buddy."
No, so here's the deal. So I almost didn't say thank you, but number one, for some reason, I don't know why, I was also having like a God moment of like, hey, like just be Jesus to this man. Like
Yeah.
he's probably had a rough day, like whatever. And so I did. Like as I was getting out of the car, I was just like, "Hey, thanks for the ride, man." And I like get out and I kind of close the door behind me. But the other reason why I said thank you was because I had a feeling that if I hadn't say thank you, he would have been like, "Most people say thank you." and then just destroyed me.
So you're
and
scared
I'm-
for your life.
And I'm in the front lawn of an Airbnb, dead because this guy just was having a bad day, pulled out his Glock and pumped me.
All right.
But
fair
yeah,
enough.
needless to say, as soon as we got in the house, Nick and TJ were like, "What the hell is that?" Right? Like, and we had a big blow up. I was like, dude, I was ready to drop kick this guy, like straight, just like reach over, open his door handle, and just kick him right out, going down the highway. Like it was bad. So there's Uber. Okay. So now, first of all, Thunder won. Game was awesome.
Yep.
Hey, I'm gonna hurry up. Don't worry. I see the time. Okay. But here's the pinnacle of the weekend. Unfortunately, when you go anywhere with Nick and TJ, they're degenerate gamblers.
Yes.
So even though we had plans to like go to all these different places, do all these different things, the running joke of this week was Nick like anxiously wanting to get to the casino on the drive over. So he's like, "Hey, you know what sounds good? Go to the casino." You know, just like, "Hey Nick, what do you want for dinner?" "Oh man, you know what sounds good? Go to the casino." Like all that sort of stuff. So that
Yes.
was the running joke. So we go to the casino, and don't get me wrong, I always cheer for my friends, no matter what it is. They could be running a marathon, doing biking stuff. You know, the Cowboys are playing in the playoffs, even though that will never happen. I always cheer for my friends. Okay,
Ouch.
Or how about I just read 100 books in 3 weeks?
there you go. You know, you're a psycho for reading that much. So I always cheer for my friends, but there's also a little bit of me of like, Nick makes good money.
Yeah.
TJ makes good money. This weekend's like nothing for them. Whereas for me, I have to like save for 2 years to like go on this trip. And so when they degenerate gamble, there's a little piece in the back of my brain that's like, yeah, lose $6,000.
You just lost it all.
And it's awesome. So first night we go, they kind of hit on slots right away.
Yep.
But then, you know, because they can never just walk away,
No.
they then like lose it. And then we go to the blackjack table, and we all came out ahead, but I definitely had the best night out of everybody. So it's just like, so this is what it's like to be on, you know, the other side. So then night two, this would be Friday. Night two, they lose like all of it.
Oh no.
And I mean all of it. And we're talking slots, we're talking blackjack,
Oh
like
shit.
all this sort of stuff. Okay. So it is not going well. Okay. Not going well at all. And I was losing
Not
my stuff
good.
at blackjack. Like I think I walked away like minus 100 from what I broke even on night two.
Yeah.
But like overall on the weekend, yeah. So then day three, like they each just have like a little bit left. And even TJ at one point like pulled out. He's like, "Oh my God, I'm down to my last $250. And again, we're talking like thousands of dollars
Yes.
they have gambled.
Yep.
And they're playing, of all things, the Buffalo game at the very end, like before we're leaving. And if you remember, the Buffalo game is what TJ hit the $5,000 on in the airport as
Yep.
we were leaving Vegas. So they're
Yep.
playing the Buffalo game, and they're spinning. And again, back in my head, I'm like, "Oh, come on, guys. Like, I don't want you to have a bad weekend because
Yeah.
you just lost a bunch of money." But at the same time, I'm just like, yes. Like, learn your lesson. Gambling's bad. Like, all that sort of stuff. They get down their last spin. They hit it. Nothing. But on the Buffalo game, if you have any little bit left in the game, so say it's like $1 spin,
Yeah.
but you spin it at 150 and now you have 50 cents left, sometimes it'll reward you with a bonus spin because
Yep.
instead of you just paying out, it's like, we'll let you spin this one
Yeah.
for 50 cents.
On the house.
So they get the spin, $3. So it's like, whoa, big spender. They hit the $3, nothing happens. But they have a little bit left. So they get a bonus spin. $5,000
Are you
on the bonus
shitting
spin
me?
on their last possible
No way.
spin of the weekend. They literally had no penny left to their name.
Oh my
$5,000.
God.
So they're
dude.
going crazy, right? They split 2,500 each.
That
And
is
then
insane.
so Nick is now like technically a professional like sports bettor now.
Is he really?
He like follows a guy and basically
yeah.
just tails his picks, but he pays like an egregious amount of money to tail these picks.
Yeah.
So he's got like a bunch of money on the Thunder game that night that we happen to be going to. And TJ's like, "You know what? Screw it. I'm feeling good. Let me go in on this with you." Thunder had to win by 11. They won by like 25. Like, no problem. So they win again. And they're just like, yeah. They're like celebrating.
Did they put all
this
their
sort of stuff.
winnings back onto the game?
No.
Okay.
Like I think Nick already had the bet in for like 1,600, so TJ just paid half of that.
Okay,
but
800.
then
Gotcha.
so TJ basically like doubled his money, and then Nick like got half of what the winnings would have been.
Yep.
So then we go back to the casino and we immediately hop on blackjack. We don't even play slots. And Sipe, this is the coolest part. So we're playing, it's up and down. And another time I'll tell you about the blackjack dealers. That was like an Uber experience in of itself. But we're playing blackjack. TJ ends up like catching a heater right at the end. So he's up like $250. I'm down, lost my money. And Nick has had a bad blackjack experience and had to buy back in over and over and over.
Yep.
So TJ stands up. And Nick, so in Oklahoma, they have antes. So for each hand, you have to pay 50 cents, or if you're betting over 100, you have to pay $1.
Yep.
Which is bullshit.
Yep.
First of all,
It's house.
never
money.
betting in Oklahoma anymore. But so Nick's like down to his last like dollar. So he's like, screw it. Like puts in like 150 all in.
Yep.
Wins the hand. So we're just like, hey, like way to end it. But Nick's a degenerate gambler.
Yep.
Like, nope. Can't go all in
Let
and
it
then we'll just
ride.
walk away from the table. So he like does it again and wins again. And then he does it again and wins again. And then at this point, like he's like hitting all this. And instead of like giving like $5 over to then get antes, I'm just like, Nick, like I got $1, like here, just play my dollar.
Right.
Because I'm again waiting for him to lose. Sipe, I kid you not, he won 12 in a row.
What?
And to the point where the pit boss came over and had a keen interest in Nick. Like
What?
card counting,
Dude,
keen
get outta
interest.
here.
Because Nick was full blown playing gut. At one point, I think he was on a 12 and the dealer was showing like 18.
Yep.
And he's like, I know I should bet. Like all mathematics says
Like
bet.
hit.
I'm a stay. And then the dealer like flipped over 14 and then hit the bus card that would have been Nick's. And then the big boss is like, oh, what's going on? Like Nick went on
Wow.
the biggest blackjack heater. So again, he had been down probably $500. He walked away with 2,500
Holy shit. So
In-
he just
in-
kept doubling.
in like a 30-minute stretch.
Wow.
Yeah, it was wild.
That's so
then
cool.
what Nick always does is he goes over to the roulette table, like
Yep.
when he ends on a heater, it's like, let's just see if we can end the night on one more win. Puts it all on, or not all on black. He takes 500, puts it on black.
Yep.
Doesn't hit.
Uh-oh.
So it's like, all right, we're leaving. It's fine. It's cool.
Nope.
And we're walking out of the casino, and then Nick does this thing where like all of a sudden he gets like a tug on his heartstrings. He's like, wait a minute. And he looks over, and there's a buffalo machine sitting there.
No.
Second spin in, like $1,000 on the second
What?
spin. I kid you not. And
That's
then they
unreal.
left.
That's
and then they
unreal.
left. So literally in like a 8-hour stretch, they went from down to their last penny to both being ahead on the weekend.
Holy shit, dude.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
And meanwhile, I walked away under.
Yep. That's how it happens.
It's like,
But they were willing to get, honestly, all the way down to the last
Right.
cent of their $6,000.
but the fact that this has
Like-
now happened twice, and here's the thing, any of these times I could have easily been like, hey, I'll do this slot machine with you. Throw me in for $100.
Yeah.
And they would have let me. But we would have just lost that money.
Just like we did in Vegas.
Yep. Yep. And it's like,
Yep.
nope. They always just happen to hit. And
That's
I'm
so
just
cool.
like, you have got to be kidding me. Like, they
Yep.
will never learn their lesson. So,
No rock bottom.
right. So there's the key things with the Vegas trip. I will share one last final story.
The Oklahoma City trip. Yep.
What'd I say, Casey?
Vegas.
Vegas, yeah, sorry.
Yep.
No, so the highlight of the trip, however, for me, because it was not a money-making trip for me like it was for them, is we are all very drunk, bar hopping. This is Friday night, and TJ's friend Kyle was meeting us, and we went to the bar, and I ordered like an amber ale, because that's why I like.
Yep.
Well, TJ always runs on his schedule. He's like, all right, let's go, like finish your beers. I'm just like, dude, I just got
just
this.
got
I'm
here.
not chugging an amber ale. Like, I will meet you. He's just like, well, no, dude, like, I want to make sure you're okay. I'm like, dude, I am a 36-year-old man.
Grown ass man.
I will be fine. I know where you're going. Like, I knew what bar he was going to.
Yeah.
I was just like, look, it's on my phone. You're literally a block and a half away. Like, I will find you.
Yeah.
It's just like, fine, whatever. And so he walks out. And then, so I'm like sipping on my beer. And like 5 minutes later, Kyle comes into the bar on one of the electric scooters.
On
that
the
you can-
scooter?
yes.
Oh shit.
And he like comes over to the bar and like slides in, and everybody knows Kyle. Like I think is part of the reason why he got away with it. But like he kind of slides in. He's like, "Hey, I'm here to pick you up," like as a joke. But I was just like, "Oh, if you think I'm playing, like I
Yeah.
ain't playing." So I was just like, "Dude, we tandem riding out of here." So I like hop on the back, and we're like slamming against the wall and like run into
Yes.
the door frame, all that sort of stuff. And we get out of the bar. And then, so like we're on the sidewalk, and I'm just like, "Are we actually doing this?" He's just like, I'm down if you're down. So I'm like, all right. So I hop on the back, and I knew instantly it wasn't going well because as we're like trying to get his balance, like he's heading towards the curb, and it's a curb like your curb where it's like a
Yep.
straight drop. Dude, we flew that curb, landed, like skidded, got our balance, and then we were flying down the road, ran 2 stoplights, turned into like where the bar is, and like did like a Fast and Furious stop right in front of everybody, hopped off, high five, chest bump. It was the sickest thing ever. And on the back of that bike, I'm like, I may never see my family again. But Kyle and I made it, and now we have a legendary story of us tandem riding through the Norman streets
And everybody that saw you do that,
on a
like
scooter for one.
douchebags.
Oh, dude. No. Well, that was the problem is at first I started around his waist because I wanted to be a douchebag, but
Yep.
I had to go up onto his shoulder. So like even when we went to turn left, he's like, all right, we're banking left. And we both like synchronized like our weight. It was awesome.
Yes.
It was so sick.
I love that.
So there you go. There's the boys weekend in a nutshell. I'll tell you about
Yeah.
the blackjack dealers later because I won't bore people with that because if you've never played blackjack, you won't understand.
Yep. Yep.
So there you
So
go.
I am sad that I missed it. And last weekend we did get to trial the 5K, which was fun. But it doesn't make up for all the money I would have lost in the casino.
Yeah. Which
That'd be-
granted,
it'd
I
be
went
fun.
there. I went there with $1,000, and I came home with like 5 and some change. So
Oh, well,
like,
you didn't spend it all.
yeah, no,
Yeah, you're good.
I did great.
Yeah.
I was feeling good after night 1 when I went in with $1,000 and walked out with $1,200.
Yep.
So I was like, yes.
I'm making money this trip.
And to be fair,
Nope.
most of my money was absolutely spent on rounds of drinks for random strangers
Yes, as it should be, though.
because that's what I do.
Yeah, as it should be.
Yeah.
With that, we'll go into topic number 3. I'm excited about this one. I didn't know what this one was going to be about. I forgot about it on the post or the chat that we had this morning or this afternoon. And then Mark comes down and was like, "Dude, your basement stinks." And I was like, "Oh shit!"
Smelled like sweaty kids and farts.
Like, do I have something going on? Well, McNary boys came over tonight to play in the basement. Dana was out of town, so picked up all the kids. The girls are fine. They went upstairs and was watching TVs and painted the nails and read books. I don't know what girls do still, but the boys are down here and obviously wrestling around, jumping on the trampoline. And Mark was like, "Dude, it just smells weird." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." 5 boys or 4 boys down here just running around,
And all they do is wrestle.
and that's all they do when they get together.
Shirtless, too.
Yeah, they have like WWE matches.
I know.
love
It's like
it.
legit, again, child fight club down here.
Yes, yeah. We don't talk about that though. So this topic is going to be, let's do our top 3. Let's start with best smells. Okay.
Can I
And-
give you one that could be a best or a worst because it's circumstantial and you'll understand exactly where I'm going
Okay.
with this because this was like when you go to casinos, this is just a thing.
Oh,
is
yeah.
Smoking is no longer allowed indoors
Yep.
unless you're in a casino.
Yep.
And there are times,
Yep.
no, in Kansas and anywhere else you go, but here's the deal. There are a few things in life that are an immediate turnoff, like walking into a place and it's smoky and you feel like you can't breathe.
Yep.
But there are also a few things in life than when you're on the blackjack table, you're having a couple beers, you're winning a little bit of cash, and then someone comes over and just lights one up to you, and you're just like,
Yep.
that smells nice. So that is both a best and a worst, is a good old-fashioned cigarette smell. I appreciate that. So, Hannah, do you have one?
I think I have 3 top smells. Are we just gonna do them all at the same time or one at a time?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. Fresh baked bread, homemade bread. There's just something. It's comforting. It's very much just something that you just love because it's so good. And then I'm good. And then I would also say I don't have them or have never had them, but there is something to be said about that newborn baby smell
Sure.
when you smell their heads.
Yep.
I mean, it's just there's something about it, and maybe
Taking them all.
maybe that's just me, but my all-time favorite smell, I'm not gonna lie, is that Dolce and Gabbana cologne for men.
Ooh.
Dolce and Gabbana.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
like I can smell it anywhere. It doesn't matter. I would follow a serial killer probably because I love
Was
the
that,
smell of it so much.
That old guy was
Third.
definitely wearing Dolce and Gabbana.
The third Uber driver.
Yeah,
That's not my problem.
What? Dude, are you sure you should be driving Uber? Is this Uber? You just you went home with somebody that did not work for Uber.
I don't think so.
What about you, Brandon?
Well, I wasn't really prepared for this.
I know, off the top of the
but
cuff.
No, it's fine.
Off the top, the best way to do it.
Well, here's a little something about me too. My daughter and I like to bake together. quite a bit.
Yes.
She's 9.
Cookies, cakes, all of it.
All of it. We haven't gotten into cakes, but our
Okay.
specialty is cinnamon rolls. And I iterated a recipe over about 30 trial runs until I got it just the way we want it.
Oh, shit.
And so now we've started a little bit of a weekend bake sale thing that we do. We take orders during the week, and then we bake and deliver on Saturday mornings.
That's cool.
And
you delivered to Russell.
we don't deliver to Russell.
Okay.
But
Yet.
I
Yet.
mean, we could expand because every time we do the cinnamon rolls, we sell out. Like I plan how much time we have to bake and so how many we can make. Cinnamon rolls sell out every time, and then we have like more people that missed out because they were too slow. But the smell of our cinnamon rolls baking
Yeah,
is probably my favorite smell.
100%.
How committed are you to living in Great Bend? Pretty?
Fairly committed,
Yeah,
just
okay.
for the sake of family and work and all that. So
How old's your daughter?
she's 9. My son's
Oh.
6.
Yep.
They've got kids same age. I mean, it's fine.
I was hoping
Yeah.
she was like 20 so she could start her own business here in town. But,
Oh yeah.
okay. Yeah.
I thought that was about
so-
to get
We had
real
kids
weird.
in
No,
for a
it
second.
wasn't. I picked my words carefully.
Yep.
All right.
How old's your daughter?
You
spoke very
Sorry,
fast.
dude.
You're good.
It's all right. No, that came from the questionnaire of like a father
It
of
was,
like
it was a pure question.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So cinnamon rolls.
Yeah.
What else?
We bake scones, and we've recently mastered chocolate chip cookies to
Ooh.
the point where I've had a few delivered, and they've told me it's the best cookie they've ever had.
Son of a
right.
bitch.
So like and that that's what we do. We change like one little variable about the recipe at a time until it's like what we want, and then
Yeah,
we
like
start selling it. So
More
Wow.
butter, more sugar. things like
yeah, and oatmeal cookies. My mom had a recipe for oatmeal cookies that was bomb, and I changed it a little bit, and now that one sells out too. So we've got
You like to tweak a little bit.
the next thing on the list is blueberry scones because I
Ooh.
haven't quite mastered those yet because blueberries are watery and it messes with the texture.
Yep.
And then brownies. Brownies will be next after that. So
Like
we're working
normal
on that.
brownies, or are they gonna be coming from the Colorado breed?
No, they're normal brownies in
Okay.
Kansas, at least until they legalize stuff.
There we go.
Colorado just bakes with love. Chris.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
right.
Is that what it is?
Right. A lot
That's
of
the special ingredient.
green love. So one for me is very seasonal. At the beginning of the season, I love the smell of it, but about halfway through the season, I can't stand it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Fresh cut grass.
Yep. I knew that's where you were going.
But then at the very end of the season, like football season,
Yeah.
then I'm back into it. Why?
Because football's here.
Because football's here, and I remember my dad used to mow the football field, and the night before a game, I would go up there and help him mow lines and whatnot before I played the next day. And I remember just that moment there in Clyde, Kansas, the big Ed Buller crowned field, and we'd be sitting there after I got done with practice, and I would be pushing on lawnmower thinking, like, why the hell is Dad making me do this? But I still remember the smell of it, and then I look back, and I that's a super fond memory I have of my dad. And it's something that, when he does pass someday, That's going to be something I look back and I'm going to be like, that was such a cool moment.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I didn't really enjoy it, it's because smells bring back memories. And I think that's why I was excited about this topic. So anyway, Mark.
So since my brother decided to show his face in the chat, I'll give you a worst one because I know he'll appreciate. Because even though I love these things and I also like use the juice quite frequently, I actually don't like the smell of like pickles. So,
Oh, man.
If you open like a bag of like pickled potato chips or pickled seeds, like
You're wrong.
on top of the fact that I'm not going to eat them, I don't like them. I don't like the just the standard smell. Or like if my wife is ever cooking in the kitchen, like not that she like cooks pickles, but and I forget what they're called, but they look like peas, but they also taste really pickly. She'd be able to tell you.
Okra.
No, not
No.
okra. No. It's like literally a spice like thing that you throw into your dishes, but they look like peas.
Okay.
They're like little green things, and they just capers. Yes,
Capers.
that's it.
I don't like
They
capers.
smell like pickles, they taste like pickles, and they ruin every dish my wife puts them in. And it stinks up the house anytime she cooks them. Same with beets. Like whenever she cooks her beets, that smells disgusting. Broccoli, I love broccoli, but broccoli smells. But I do love.
Was that all three of yours?
No. Point is like, since we were talking about baking, cooking is another thing.
Yeah.
Like, we've all smelled like, oh, like there's a pizza in the oven and you get excited. But for me, I love it when I come home and I can smell garlic and onion.
Yes.
Like, I'm just like, oh, dinner is going to be bomb tonight. Let's go. Like, if there's garlic and onion, I know some people don't like those smells, but I know I'm about to get a delicious meal on top of the fact that I like those smells. So, yeah, if I'm smelling pickles, If I'm smelling onion and garlic, oh, yeah.
Well, most of the time, because onion and garlic, like to make that into your dinner, like you're home cooking some type of recipe.
Yeah.
It's not just something that you throw in the freezer, from the freezer or anything like that. Like that's a home cooked meal.
Right.
I think that's why I like
But
it.
yeah, whenever my wife's the only one who eats beets, we all know it when she cooks it, and we're all just like, Mom, why do you eat beets? And then whenever she has capers, I'm just like, oh
All
my
right.
God. I'm eating a sandwich,
I got another one.
and I'm gonna put pickle on it, but I'm not gonna smell it.
All right. I got another one. And again, ties back to childhood memories. But every time I open up my old 76 Ford pickup truck door, there's a distinct smell. And it's the same smell that my dad's 78 smelled like all throughout growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't describe it. I wish they would make air freshener like it. But you can't. You just have to have a little bit of rust and dirt and something from the 70s that you open up. And that's the smell of a 70s truck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe it's the like seats in the dash like decomposing. over the
Possibly.
years. Yeah. What about you? Anything else?
I was sitting here trying to think of something because again, I came a little unprepared, but I just remembered that back in high school, I was kind of a gross kid.
Yeah.
And so for practice after school, for like football practice, we'd lift weights sometimes.
Yep.
And I was the worst about remembering to bring home my like workout clothes. And so I'd wind up just like hanging them up to dry.
Yep.
And so like after several days, it got so like
Yeah.
there was one point in time I remember I went to grab my shirt and I grabbed it and it was like hard as wood.
Yes.
Because there's so much salt and sweat
Yes.
and nastiness. And I was like, oh, I should probably wash it.
And
I'd
you still wore
I
it.
still wore it. And I'd go up there and I'd walk by people like, oh, I was like, I know, I'm dealing with it too.
My nose is numb now, but yeah.
I mean, as an adult, I take better care of my stuff. But man,
Can I
back then-
piggyback
Ooh.
on that?
Yuck.
Because, and
was
Sipe,
the
you're not there
worst.
yet, but I have a 15-year-old son. In combination with that is the Axe Bomb.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why.
Which is
Look.
why I tried to buy him something besides Axe.
Yep.
Hannah, just so you know, he keeps a bottle of Axe in Bucky. And the amount of times I have gone in there and I can tell he just sprayed it. And it's
the
just like,
truck.
dude, just roll down the window. Like, I have to drive with you, and now I can't breathe. Why are you, like, we're literally just driving to go, like, pick something up at Clemma's and drive back home. Why do you need to smell? You're not even getting out of the truck. We're not seeing anybody.
Yeah.
But for some reason, his brain is like, oh, I just got done working out.
I did the same thing.
Oh, I'm not done.
All right, that's done.
Unbelievable.
No, what's funny is I used to do the exact same thing. It was Axe body spray.
Oh.
And
It's the worst.
the blue one, and sometimes the black one.
This
but
is the yellow.
double double pits to the chesty. Yeah, exactly.
No, I know the thing.
Yeah.
That's not what Reese does.
He just sprays it in the air.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Wafts in it. And I am going to go with another good one. And this is the smell of a memory of a very hungover Chris and a very hungover Mitch and Jerry. It was like sometime when I was freshly in college at their house, and Mitch had this cologne called Aqua de Jour, I think.
Aquadigio.
Did you- whatever?
I know what it is.
Okay.
Yes.
It's in a blue bottle.
Yeah, it's like a frosted but
Yeah.
blue. Yep. And I remember Mitch
Don't question me.
that morning. he came up and like sprayed himself, and I'm like hungover getting ready, and he was like, he pulls out his pants and like sprays down in his crotch.
Yep.
And I was like,
We've all done that maneuver.
what are you doing? And he was like, the bitches love this. And I was like, what? And he goes, it's called Aqua de Jour. And that's how he said it. Aqua de Jour. And he goes, I do a spray on my neck, and then I go spray on these nuts for the bitches.
That's like something out of an Anchorman.
It is. It truly is.
60% of the time, it works
Every time. And so every time I smell that, and I used to have a bottle of it, and it's expensive. Actually, at Mitch's or at my wedding, somebody had left it at my house, a bottle of it. And so I was like, oh, that's mine now. And every time I would spritz it in the morning, I just remember Mitch going, and one on the nuts for the bitches.
All I can think is every time I smell it, I think of my brother's balls.
Not his balls, just the moment of when he spritzed his balls. Thank you, Mitch.
Oh God. I don't even know how
All
to
right,
follow that.
I got one. It's a bad smell that is oddly. I like it, but I shouldn't, and I know I shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's Rachel's armpits.
Really?
Yep. It's
That's-
weird. I know. When and it's not like a turn on or anything. Okay.
Is it just the pits, or is it like her deodorant?
No, it's not the deodorant. It's after she sweat through the deodorant, and it stinks. I know it does, but it's one of those like, wait a minute. I think I like that, but I don't know.
Dude, you are. See, remember how we said at the beginning of the show you could get personal if you want to?
Yep. And share too much.
We've crossed the line.
Yep.
Type I quit.
That was it. That's all it took.
Oh, man.
That's
Shit.
a little too far for me.
I'm oddly
don't-
comfortable with it.
You don't have a smell like that where you're like, you smell it once and you're like, oh, that's gross. And then it's like, you go back to it and then, and then you go back to it again.
I mean, not like on a
do I
human.
like that?
Well, it's like gasoline when you're pumping gas.
That's
Yeah.
that would
You
be
know.
a more appropriate. Like, oh, gasoline smells, and it's like, no, actually, it doesn't. No, actually, I kind of like this. But when it's coming off a human, that'd be like if you were like, I love my wife's farts.
That's weird.
They're so tasty.
That's weird.
Like-
I love my own farts. Somebody else is in here, in the chat, out in the universe, listening to this and being like,
I mean, again, sure. Like,
I
if
also
Katie
do that.
uses like a nice shampoo, or if she used like the Rock
Nope.
Haven scrub,
No,
like
this
it's
is
like,
sweat.
ooh, you smell nice. But like, yeah, when it's just like, let me smell your pits.
No, I
Like,
don't.
I can't even say
I
it.
don't ask her to like let me smell them. It's when we're laying in bed, right? And she's about to go work out in the morning, so she's not going to shower because she's going to have to shower right after the workout. I catch a whiff and I'm like, I don't think I like that, but then I go back to it. I can't understand it.
It's like loving
okay?
morning breath, bro.
Okay, you caught me there too.
You love her morning breath?
Not all the time, but yeah, there's some times. And I don't know what it is.
Dude, you are a freak, and I'm learning this about you.
I'm in love is what it is, Mark.
I don't love Katie that much.
Well, get on my level. No, it's weird. It is weird. And that's why I said this is a bad smell. it's weird that I think I like it sometimes.
What about 4th of July?
Yes.
When the air is filled with burned gunpowder.
Mhm,
That smell?
mhm.
To me,
No, it's
that
good.
has never been a
Smells
bad
like
smell.
America.
It's a good smell, right?
That is a good smell.
Every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though it kind of burns and like
Yeah,
you feel kind of gross, but it smells good.
yeah, like it gets on your skin too, and then yeah.
Smells like burnt money to me.
Yep. That too. Now that I've had to pay for all my fireworks for the last 15 years.
now that you're actually, since we talked about like new baby smell and fireworks smell, now that I think about, whenever I open like a fresh new electronic,
Yeah, oh, dude.
like hasn't been like again
Yep.
sweated on, or like a brand new Xbox controller, it's just like like,
TV.
you're clean. Yeah, TV,
Yep.
like PlayStation, whatever, like even a new like DVD fresh out of the plastic case, like, oh yeah,
I'm here for it.
I'm
Yep.
about to use and abuse you.
Another one that would be like a fresh open box of shoes.
Yes. Yeah. Similar idea.
And you can you actually put your nose open to that shoe.
I've licked it.
What? Okay.
I mean,
I'm
you got
weird.
weird, so I'm gonna get weird.
I'm weird.
I actually haven't. I'm just trying to make you feel better. But
I don't lick pits though.
Everybody's
okay?
judging you.
Fair. That's fair. Yeah, everybody's like, Chris is a lot of bit weird now. Yeah.
Fresh deck of cards.
Yeah.
That's another one when you open it.
Yeah, and I think again there's a memory tied to that too. Like you got the fresh deck, you're about to play some cards with some friends and have a
Right.
good time. Dude, I swear there's a smell, and I can't put my finger on it right now. When you smell it and like you're that so Raven.
Oh yeah,
Do you know what I'm talking about? Like
Yeah.
like the purple zone of time goes back into a memory, and you're like, holy crap! I literally just leapt in time.
Yeah.
And then you're like, what was that?
Crayons.
No kidding.
Really?
Crayons. Yeah.
Yeah.
The smell of crayons. A new box of crayons.
Like as soon as the cardboard gets broken in it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Actually, just thinking about that, I went back to second grade.
Yeah.
For like a
There
split
you go.
second.
You're welcome.
Thank
now,
you.
Now I'm just seeing the
Cheers.
Dane Cook bit with the markers. Like the black one always smelled like an asshole.
Yes. Okay.
What is that?
Black licorice.
Oh God,
Hate it.
hate it.
I love
yeah.
it. Sorry.
Oh,
I'll be the odd one
Pass.
out here.
No.
Weird.
Okay.
The two weird ones.
yeah.
Yep.
I got very
PH.
black
Wasn't
chili.
Derek into the black licorice
yeah.
too?
Dude.
Weirdo.
Yeah. All right. You're not invited back anymore.
Sorry.
Don't listen to him.
You can still
I'm
run
not
our
gonna
social
hide.
media though. That's a remote job.
We'll give you passwords after the
I'll
show.
just give it to my class as assignments.
Dude, that could actually help a lot. Holy shit. We're going to help out the kids in Great Bend
That's
by giving them a real life project.
Hey man, let's partner up.
They're going to have some headphones or earmuffs every now and then and be able to edit.
Hey, they are adults. This is your college classes we're talking about.
Oh, you're in.
Even better.
Is the Barton classes?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. They're
Yeah,
running
I
the
helped with
Schaefer
it.
Art Gallery Facebook page right now and Instagram.
No kidding.
They're doing a great job.
There you go.
Okay. We're going to have to talk some.
I'm open to partnerships.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
I'll just drop a couple more fast enjoyment ones. Naturally, I love, and again, this goes back to a craving thing. When you walk into like a bar and
Yes.
just the greasy, fried, the grill with the hamburger and all that. Like when you walk in and it's just like, oh, this place smells dirty. You know you're in a good spot.
Which is, again, tied back to memory, though. I'm telling you.
Right,
You've
but
had a
that's
lot of fun
that's also
times.
how I just know that it's good food. Like if you walk into a place and you don't smell anything, it's like, uh-oh, food's bad. But if you walk into a place and you're like, this is gonna stick to me, I
Yeah.
bet it's good. So like San Juan, like Katie refuses to go anywhere after eating at San Juan,
Uh-huh.
but she like loves San Juan because the food's so good. So it's like if you know you're gonna walk out of there smelling nasty, it's good food.
Cozy and hamburgers.
I
See,
just
Why not?
thinking
Sorry,
that.
that's like the number one thing.
Which again,
everybody
I've
thinks
shared
about
that
in
story
Kansas.
on
Yes.
the podcast, and we talked about that on the
That
on the
was
pod.
my
Yeah.
wife's and I's first date.
Yeah,
We had
yeah.
Cozy and then we went to the movies.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Smelled it the whole time you were in the movie.
I
too.
loved it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everyone else could smell you too. I
Yep.
learned that the hard way. But then going on to the bar as well, it smells like beer.
Yep. And not good beer either.
Oh yeah, it's got to be cheap beer.
And it spilled all over the floor,
Yep.
and it smells like a beer that's been a lot of beer.
If it smells like a fight happened in there,
yeah.
yeah, that's where it's at.
One bad smell that I have that, and actually I want to share this one with COVID. Okay, and it was only during COVID when I was getting my smell back. Was meat smelled like it was rotting. Okay, and it took me like almost 4 months after I could kind of start smelling again to be even able to eat meat again, just because every time it smelled like so it was rotting. It was gross. But I want to know real quick, if you can think of it at the top of your head, the worst smell you've ever experienced in your life. And I have one to start.
Okay.
We used to raise pigs for show, right? Not race. I get that a lot. You used to race pigs? No, we're not that redneck, but it would be cool if we were. And we had a pit underneath our pig pen that we kept. It was a enclosed. They used to use it for like raising hogs, like a butcher shop type of thing. And the pit didn't get pumped for like a whole year, and I had to go down into it to get an ear tag one time, and I was like 12 years old. And this is dangerous as shit. I should not have been in it because I didn't. I chickened out, and I came back out of it. My brother Mitch went into it, and he was like a foot taller at the time. It came up to the bottom of his chin. It was so deep. And he waited all the way through it, got the ear tag, and then came back out. But that was the worst smelling thing I've ever had in my life. I'm surprised we didn't get any like bacteria injection. I don't know.
Mine is ironically similar to yours.
Really?
Yeah. So my family does like oil stuff. They do water trucks, all that sort of stuff. So part of our jobs is with the water trucks is we would go clean out like grease traps and septic tanks and stuff like that.
Yep.
And I was with my Uncle Mike, crazy Uncle Mike, as we called him. And we were at Walmart cleaning out like whatever their trap was.
Oh, no.
But from the like last job or whatever that we did, he forgot to like close the valve. But like Walmart was like the second or third stop on our list. So on the truck, the valve is like in like the middle of the tank. So like everything was filling, but then as we're sucking up the Walmart stuff, he forgot to close the valve. So once it got to the top, it started spewing out the back.
Oh,
and
my God.
So thankfully I didn't get like any on me necessarily, but it was literally like watching a movie where like it was spraying. And he immediately, like, because he was standing behind it.
Oh, no.
So it went all over him. But then as opposed to, like, moving over to the side and then, like, going and, like, shutting the valve off. He did the thing where he, like, pushed through it and, like, got to the valve, shut it off. And he was just drenched in whatever the hell it was. And, yeah, we had to ride back, like, to the shop so he could shower, change his clothes, all that sort of stuff. But just the smell of all of that from the Hayes Walmart, then driving across town in the truck, like windows down, like that is an unforgettable experience.
Yep.
Yeah.
I took 9 boys on a mission trip to Southeast Kentucky in July.
Ooh.
It is very humid in Southeast Kentucky. We were in a 15-passenger van. The air conditioner was kind of iffy at best.
Oh, no.
And we worked all day. Like, we were outside. We built a ramp for a very nice lady who needed it. But, yeah, I was very, very glad to get away from that.
Yep.
Because there was one girl, 9 boys, and then 4 leaders. And so, yeah, it was not a good smell.
No.
In the least.
Oh. Do you have one?
Oh man, mine is my own fault. And I bet if my buddy Dan, he's the same one that I told you we pretended to do like radio shows back in like junior high and high school.
Yep.
We were driving along in an old like '80s era Corolla, and I don't know why, but my farts smelled terrible that day, and I let one rip and didn't tell him about it. Like, it was a silent one, and then all of a sudden, like, he looks over at me and is like, and it was really bad. Like, there's a reason that this is a story. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it was so bad. And to this day, if I would just look at him and say Corolla fart, he'd be like, "Oh no!" Like, it's so traumatic.
Not again.
We rolled down the windows as soon as we both realized how potent it was, and we were both like heads hanging out the window, driving down the road.
Yeah.
It was so bad. High school me was disgusting.
I will say, post boys trip. Yeah. Normally mine don't stink, but they did on Sunday and Monday.
Alcohol-induced farts.
Yeah.
It's not good.
And
Protein
greasy
shake
something.
farts aren't great either.
No, that's not good. Yeah.
Poor Bryson.
Yeah, Bryson. Whoever Bryson's girlfriend is. Ugh. All right. What about any other smells noteworthy? If
No,
not,
we're good. I'm just thrilled because our goal is always 11, and even though the episode itself went long,
yeah,
it's 11:02. We crushed it.
we're right on schedule.
Good job, everybody.
All right. Well, without any further ado, thank you guys for listening to season 8, episode 6 of In the Middle podcast. Be sure to subscribe over on Twitch, support our Patreon, and join the Discord community. You can check out all the other links and socials by using the ITM Kansas handle. Don't forget to swing on over by the merch store for shirts, hats, mugs, and more by using the link in the description below. Mark,
Sight.
you got anything else?
Nah, Brandon, thanks for coming on the show.
Glad to be here. This was fun.
Yeah.
Hannah,
No.
no. PD.
Sounds like PD.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening, and we're going to get out. Talk to you soon.
Yeah. Bye.
Thanks for coming on, dude.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Your mic was still hot.
I know.
Was it
Yep.
his? Mine?
Yeah, I don't know why you did that.
So like the last 2 or 3 episodes, we've had something right at the end,
And you kind of like it?
and I kind of like
Yeah.
kind of going.
I
on
thought maybe that's what you were
Yep.
doing. I was just like,
Yep.
this guy's fucking up the outro.
No, that was good, and we're still streaming, but we can find somebody to raid.
Yeah, we
I
can
know
raid
it's
somebody.
late for you. What time's class in the morning?
First class 9:30.
9:30.
Oh, you're solid.
Well, it could be.
We already know you didn't.
Got
you're-
office
like,
hours from 8 to 9.
you're good not showering, just Axe body spray. You'll be fine.
Right.
According to my son.
um,
You want me to
we
look
have a
for
track
someone, or
meet
you good?
tomorrow. Yeah, let's try to find somebody real quick to raid, and then we'll shut the show down. Following, there's deadly dill. There's trends. We haven't hit them up in a while, but if you have somebody else, we normally raid somebody after.
no one in
It's got-
particular. I can look up the Kansas handle and stuff like that. Hold, please.
This dude, I'm trying to remember. We found him. Was that through one of your Discords, Mark?
He's one of Fudd's buddies.
Fuds, okay.
Hold on.
He's like a youth ministry guy,
There's
and he plays games with
a
to help
guy from
expand it. It's kind of cool.
Kansas with a boatload of viewers, but I have no idea who this is.
Is it Patrick Mahomes?
Oh, what's this? No. Kansas. I wonder where- Oh, and this is a mom too? Dude, I'm
Yeah.
kind of down with this one.
Yep.
Let's do this one. V-Ball Chick 1990, so she's even our age.
Search. V-ball?
Yeah, like volleyball. Right there. Boom.
Playing Fortnite.
Playing Fortnite.
It does say, Rocket Racing Battle Royale. Fortnite.
Not Fortnite. That's
I mean,
pretty
this
cool.
also might be on Fortnite for all I know. Fortnite's wild, man.
Really? They have different.
Oh, yeah. Fortnite, you can do anything you want to do on there.
Oh wow.
You can play like GTA on Fortnite.
What?
Oh yeah.
So it's becoming like a Twitch almost.
It's just like a giant hub of if you can build it, they will come. It's kind of wild.
Wow.
It might not be, but
Alrighty. Well,
yeah. Raider.
I feel old now.
I played it in high school.
Fortnite?
No, Guitar Hero.
Oh, I played the shit out of Guitar Hero.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That looks like more like Rock Band though.
I
It
tried
does.
Fortnite though one time and realized
Yes.
Not for you.
All right. Thanks for watching our 6th episode of season 8, and we'll get back at you soon.
Bye.
Sweet.
I just want to know what this is.
So, have you podcasted?
Did you shut the stream off, by the
no,
way?
I've never done a podcast.
Um,
So it is actually something I'm wanting to add.
I think the stream's still live.
So I have
Yeah.
a program I'm building called Digital Communication.